Good morning. My name is Farrokh Mistree. I am based in Purcell, Oklahoma, and I'm delighted to moderate this webinar titled A Conversation with Young Zoroastrians on the Challenges and Coping Strategies for Studying in India. This webinar is being brought to you through the auspices of the World Zoroastrian Chamber of Commerce, and their motto is entrepreneurship in the pursuit of opportunity beyond resources control. The link to recordings of the previous ZFN webinars is out here. The panelists today are Danesh Aga, Vispi Karkaria, and Kerin Pithawalla. All three are studying in India and getting degrees in India. And they will share with you their experiences in studying in India and how they have coped with them, and share some strategies for coping with the issues that they faced in India, and then give some pointers to parents and children. The synthesizer for today is Ayesha Rabadi-Raol, and she is based in the United States. The next conversation is going to be on July the 18th, 2021, and we aim to announce the ZFN United Kingdom Scholar Program on that date. It is still to be, the panelists are still to be decided, and you will be getting further information through the e-blasts of the ZFN. The plan for the conversation today is as follows. There's going to be an opening as to what this webinar is about for 5 minutes. Each panelist will introduce himself or herself, and then each will go on to a commentary about the academic journey to issues of interest to the participants. Ayesha Rabadi-Raol will come along and synthesize the discussion that has been put forward by the panelists, and foster and lay the foundation for questions for clarification and further dialogue with the participants. So the dialogue will be moderated, and it is important that you in the chat box, or when you start talking, you indicate to whom you address your question, so that the panelists can answer. And then there'll be a closing for about 10 minutes of a ZFN official, Yazdeep Atra, the panelists, and yours truly. So what are we about? The World Zoroastrian Zartusti Chamber of Commerce, in partnership with Zartusti faculty and academia, envision empowering Zartusti students to learn how to create economic, cultural, and intellectual value. The mission of the ZFN is to facilitate Zartusti youth through higher and specialized education to pursue careers in government, industry, academia as business entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and knowledge entrepreneurs. The webinars are put together in the form of a conversation. Rather than coming along and lecturing people, we want to seed a conversation so that then we can have a dialogue, and all of us can be richer as a result of the dialogue that has ensued. The notion here is to support parents and the Zartusti youth to attain higher and specialized education. This initiative, through its inception over a year ago, or almost a year ago, has been supported by the R.D. Setna Scholarship Fund. And for further information, you can write to this Gmail address. So with that, it is my pleasure to introduce invite Kerin Pithawalla to share her thoughts and seek the conversation with the participants. Go ahead, Kerin.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kerin Pithawalla, and I'm currently based in Navsari in India. Right now, I'm in the final year of my undergraduate degree. I'm pursuing Bachelor of Technology in Computer Engineering from NMIMS University in Shirpur, which is there in Maharashtra state in India. Right now, I'm doing a research internship at Brock University in Canada, which is via the NITEX Global Link Research Internship Program. My goal is to make career resources accessible to minorities in tech, and my passion is to lead initiatives for economic empowerment. You can contact me via LinkedIn, which is available on the screen. So first of all, I would like to start with what I want to convey in my presentation. With reference to Yasna Ha 51.5, I would like to talk about identifying opportunities to create value. Talking about my academic journey, I became interested in the subjects of computer science and management. This encouraged me to pursue computer engineering, and for further studies, I will be learning management also. So this was a result of my parents' active involvement in my career development and overall life. My parents, from my early childhood, encouraged active learning. They made me study a lot of different subjects, various academic disciplines. They also encouraged me to pursue my passion and also participated in extracurricular activities and sports. One of the crucial things which they imparted me in was the habit of reading. So by reading a lot of books, I came to know that I was very much interested in learning technology and also contributing in that. So the books which played a major influence in this decision were the National Geographic magazines, a novel called The Innovators, and scientist Richard Feynman's autobiography, Surely You Are Joking, Mr. Feynman. Now, my academic journey has been a very good journey and experience so far. But there are just small hurdles which I faced over here, and I was eventually able to overcome them. So I would like to share about that with you all. The first thing which I faced was that I moved to a different state from which I belong. I was originally from Gujarat, and for my studies, I went to Shirpur, which is in Maharashtra state. So here people mostly spoke Marathi. My academic instruction is in English. However, but when for day-to-day life, it is important to know Marathi. So what I did was that I accept the change which I had, and I actively worked on improving my language skills, learning a new language to mix with the local people and have a good conversation with all of them. So that's how I overcame this barrier and learned a new language along the way. The second thing which I had faced was outdated syllabus. Technology as such is a very rapidly changing field. The university curriculum is very good to learn the fundamentals, but since I was interested in taking more initiatives and build projects, I needed to know some additional skills which are widely used in day-to-day lives. So what I did is that I connected to the alumni of my university via the alumni portal. You can do so by that as well, and you can even go on platforms like LinkedIn, where there are experienced professionals and professors also. So from there, I talked to them, I came to know about what more career paths which I would be able to take and how to go on them and which skills are required. So to learn those additional skills which I learned from them, I went through the internet, and there are a lot of good resources available on MIT Open Course Wave, Coursera, NPTEL, and so on. So these platforms provide a good skill building opportunity to students as well as all other people. And the third thing which I had to challenge was that focus was only on theoretical aspects. Now, for me, learning theory is the most important part to build the fundamentals. But as a student, in my free time, I wanted to explore more about technology. So I thought that, okay, why not try to implement that practically and see how it goes. So that's why I had pursued a subject called management, accounting, and economics in my curriculum. And from that, I approached my university and asked them if I could conduct an entrepreneurship summit in my college, so that student entrepreneurs would get a platform to showcase their ideas and also get investments for their startups as well. So the college agreed, and I was able to manage a committee of more than 130 students thanks to the principles that I had learned in my course. And I was happy so that I could achieve my goals which I had. Similarly, I took other technical subjects which I had learned over the university and tried to build some projects. This helped me to improve my learning and also identify the small gaps which were there in the learning. So that's how I improved my education overall. Lastly, I would like to talk about some tips for parents and young Saurashtrians. Starting with parents, I would request parents to encourage children to explore various academic disciplines. In this world, there are a lot of career paths you can take, and so we should be open to knowing more about them. So you should encourage your children to pursue their interest and explore some other fields as well, and not just be restricted to a few particular fields. Now, secondly, I think that parents play a major role in a child's life and thinking. So I would request parents to mentor children on how to create value in society. This was something which I had learned in Zoroastrian Faculties Network's webinars, that we can provide values to our society. These values are economical value, intellectual value, and social values as well. So every one of us has potential to do so, and that would be really good contribution to society. Now, the third tip is for the young Zoroastrians. I would request you guys to implement what you learn. By implementing what you learn, you enhance your knowledge which you have gained from your university and from your formal education. In this way, you become better at your skills, and you also know what are your shortcomings in your learning. And then you can also contribute to your society as well. So it is a good thing if you are able to, first of all, learn your fundamentals very well and then try to implement that. The fourth thing is for both parents and children is that you should adapt to changes. The only thing that is constant in your life is going to be change. So as we Parsis have been uh, always been active in change, all which happening around the world, we should encourage that. Thank you. Now Danesh Aga would continue with the presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Danesh Aga and I was born and brought up in Pune in Maharashtra state in India. My background is agriculture and business management, and that is why I have chosen the course of bachelor's in agriculture and business management from College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences, Baramati in Maharashtra in Pune district in India. Currently, I am a third year student as an agribusiness student at Van Larenstein University, Netherlands. The College of Agriculture Baramati and Van Larenstein University has integrated since past few years, and I have a great opportunity to study from this university abroad. My main goal is to start my own company through my academic journey with CSR initiatives in it. In this way, I would not only implement the economic value in the society, but also grow and progress the social value. I also look forward to apply various business concepts that I learned in my academic journey. My passion is to work on sustainable agriculture by evolving through various sustainable and organic concepts. The United Nations has developed 17 sustainable goals and which they aim to implement by 2030. And I look forward to be a part of this framework. And also, I also admire the various successful revolutions taking place in the agriculture worldwide. You can contact me through my email ID, that is danesh.aga@hvhl.nl, and also through my LinkedIn ID, which as you can see on the screen. Next slide, please. My tagline for today is innovate, adapt, and take action. My academic journey, I would like to speak about my academic journey. I am an agriculture and business management student. And agriculture is a very unique field in today's era. I got a great support from parents and friends, and I was never deprived of any facilities, and I never faced any obstacles from them regarding the course, as it is a very unique and new developing course in this era. I also studied for 2 years in Baramati about various agriculture and interesting concepts related to organic as well as aquaponics and hydroponics. The influencing factor that made me choose this program was a trip to KVK Baramati, where there were many models about agriculture and irrigation systems, and also they portrayed various factors that would help me to contribute to the society. The lessons that I learned from my academic journey are that one should be creative and clearer about the career in order to have a direction and purpose in his life. In this way, a person can achieve what he wants to do in the future and will also, and this is one of the key factors to become successful. There are admission issues in India, but one can easily solve this through a strong working plan in the academic journey. Yes, there are also various exams in India, and one can always prepare them accordingly. The next point that I'm going to speak is about the coping strategies in context of journey and being happy, which are connected with the lessons that I learned from my academic journey. Bringing out solutions by discussing with family members, friends, and colleagues. In this way, one can get a clear perspective about what he wants to do in his career. Simple brainstorming ideas could lead to great innovative thinking and a real good idea development. Also, improving on communication skills and talking to people who can guide you through the admission issues that exist in India. Yes, issues does exist in India, but one when develops the communication skills and talk to the professionals, it could really help terminate this issue and be more specific in what he wants to do. Also, there are many exams, and and considering these exams as opportunities and being mentally prepared for them would really help to tackle the issue about the exam. For instance, there are exams such as CET, boards, JE, but one can always take these exams as an opportunity and be mentally prepared to solve them. Lastly, making the best out of these opportunities and exploring new in every situation that comes away would help to tackle all these problems and make a person more bright and contribute towards the society. Lastly, I would give some tips for parents and young Zoroastrians in the context of being happy. And so one should be open to all sorts of fields. There is whether it be science, arts, or commerce, or even agriculture, as agriculture is the evolving field in this new era. Also, I would like to advise that try to explore the passion. By exploring passion, I mean that one can always innovate themselves and adapt to the particular skills that they have and boost themselves in the field that they are pursuing. Also, use resources wisely, as in today's generation there are many uh, applications available like social media, internet, etc. But on this negative part, there could also be very too much fake information on these all websites and social media. So one should be careful while selecting their career and use these resources wisely. Thank you. Now I would like to hand on my presentation to Mr. Vispi Karkaria.
Thank you very much, Danish. Hello, everyone. My name is Vispi Karkaria, and I have been born and brought up in Pune, in India. I have completed my bachelor's in technology and mechanical engineering this year from College of Engineering, Pune. And because of my good academic and research career, I got admission in Northwestern University to pursue a PhD. My position over there will be as a research scholar, and my goal is to do state-of-the-art research and develop technology, and also to serve my community as a priest. My passion is to empower individuals and develop them through education, consulting, and management in technology domain, and lead teams to solve research problems which can contribute to the society. If you are interested in these things, you can contact me through my email ID or through my LinkedIn. Now, my tagline is to listen, reflect, decide, and take action. And my academic journey resonates through this tagline, which is taught in our Zoroastrian community. From my childhood, I was interested in applying science, and hence I got interested in engineering. I started studying engineering when I was 12 years old, and from that time, my interest increased. Also, at a young age, I started my priestly studies and became a priest. And due to that, I understood the importance of creating knowledge and how creating knowledge can contribute to the society and help everyone. So I got interested in research after that, and I decided to pursue a PhD. I like to do research find new technologies, teach people, and consult and manage teams to solve technological problems. I pursued my bachelor's in College of Engineering, Pune, which is one of the best engineering colleges in India. But then also there were some minor problems which I faced. The first problem was that there is lack of research opportunities, and more importance is given to marks and getting a job. And also in the undergraduate level, there are less funding opportunities if you want to do research. Additionally, I saw that there was outdated and old research going on, which was a bit behind from state-of-the-art research, and also less importance was given to research and critical thinking in my college. But these were minor issues, and with some simple coping strategies, I was able to solve all these issues, and I believe that you will also be able to solve these issues. For lack of research opportunities, which is my first problem, I used to approach my professors and tell them about my passion. The professors were super helpful and they helped me to get good research projects. Hence, I would suggest young students to contact and talk with your professors, tell them your passion and your problems, and trust me, professors will help you. Take this opportunity in the university. Additionally, to solve the second problem, uh, I applied to government fundings and industrial fundings. Government fundings like TechCube are coming up, and I am happy to tell that government fundings in India are increasing, and our government is giving more attention to research. So take that opportunity if you want to create knowledge. In my case, I was lucky to get research funding from Tata Consultancy Services, and through their research and expertise, I was able to do good research. Now, to solve the third problem, I used to connect with professors and researchers who are outside my college, and I was blessed by getting the mentorship from Professor Allen and Professor Mistree. I did 2 internships in System Realization Laboratory at Oklahoma, United States, and the second one in RWTH Aachen, Germany. And these 2 internships helped me to increase my horizon, and it boosted my passion to do research. So I would suggest people that go on internet, talk with people, and tell your interest. You will get the opportunities. Opportunities are there. You need to back them. Although less importance is given to research and critical thinking, I believed in myself that I can do research. And along with that, I maintained a good academic record. While pursuing your passion, I would also suggest that please concentrate on your academic grades also. Those are also important. And by managing both, you will be able to do good in your life. And when you follow your passion from your heart and work hard for that, people will get inspired by you. In my case, my friends got inspired by me, and now they are helping me to do research, and they are also taking decisions. Now, after all this, I would like to give some tips to young Zoroastrians and parents. My first tip is to get connected to people in your domain of interest and outside your domain of interest and talk with them. Take their expertise and suggestions. This will not only help you to increase your knowledge, but it will also help you to increase your horizon. I was able to get new information by talking to people, and I would suggest the same to you all. Additionally, always push yourself outside the comfort zone. Remember that successful people have always worked an extra mile with smartness. So you should also do that if you want to be successful in life. The third point that I would like to suggest is that always be curious about learning things and create knowledge. Trust me, in the future, people will have to learn at a much faster pace as technology is changing rapidly. And knowledge creators will be at the top of the top in each and every domain. Problems will always come in our life, but the person who always solves problem with a positive attitude progresses in his life. Additionally, to get to the top of your favorite domain or in any domain, I would suggest that think differently from the crowd. Take decisions, and in that way you will become leaders. By taking decisions and solving problems in a positive manner, you will not only contribute to the society, but also you will be able to pursue your own dreams. And at the end, I would suggest that each and every one of you become entrepreneurs. Over here, entrepreneurs means those people who create value. And this value can be in economic domain, in social domain, or in intellectual domain. These values can be created by following Zoroastrian teachings of listening to what people are saying. Uh, After that, listening to yourself, which is more important, listening your inner soul, reflect your behavior, sit down and think what is good for you, and then decide. And after deciding, take action. So by this, I would request Dr. Ayesha Rabadi to continue. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. My name is Ayesha Rabadi-Raol. I'm currently in Toronto, Canada. Originally from India, I have 2 degrees from Teachers College in New York, an MA in early childhood education and special ed and general ed, and the other is a Doctor of Education degree from Teachers College as well. So soon I am going to be an assistant professor at Sonoma State University in California, and my passion is education for equity and justice for all. You can contact me to talk about anything education on my email address or my LinkedIn profile. So, a lot, Kerin, Danesh, and Vispi, for sharing your academic journeys with us. Our 3 speakers today provided great insight into what has changed and what needs changing when we think about undergraduate education in India. Now I'd like to synthesize what these brilliant young minds have shared with us by asking you all to think of the word resonance. When we hear someone's life experiences, we usually find similarities in our own stories, and these similarities make us feel connected to them and their experience. Please keep this in mind as we continue the discussion. Let's begin with Kerin. She spoke about identifying opportunities to create value. In her talk, she spoke of her journey in the computer sciences, the challenges she faced because of language barriers, and how she found her way through networking and self-study, and taking the initiative to move from theory to practice. Next, Danesh spoke about his passion for sustainable agricultural practices with the strong message to innovate, adapt, and take action. He spoke mostly about we should stay informed and aware of all that's going on in our field and use that passion to drive us towards success. Finally, Vispi, who is a priest and an engineer, spoke of his journey by focusing on listening, reflection, and making decisions to take action. In his talk, he shared his experiences with the lack of research opportunities and funding at the undergraduate level in India and how he overcame these challenges by connecting with the larger global community in his field to create and to sustain valuable knowledge through research. Vispi also mentioned how we need to dare to be different, which is a sign of good leadership. What resonated with me in these speakers' is their attitude and mindset, how they took action, changes, and create value, and how they worked on their communication and networking skills to further careers. Since I'm someone who's inclined towards research, the thing that resonated with me was the connection between theory and practice. When we are taught theory, it's the basis or the foundation of what we could possibly do when we take action or practice. Or reflective practice, we can create theories and knowledge. This is the purpose of where theory and practice are not just interconnected, but in a way inextricably tangled. The famous quote by Kurt Lewin is true: there is nothing more practical than a good theory. Think about that for a moment. Pertaining to Zoroastrianism, if we think about our scriptures as theoretical knowledge, they resonate with us and our ways of knowing and being in the world. How we interpret these scriptures and put them into action makes us who we are as individuals and as a community. Saha 30.2 tells us, listen, reflect, decide in the context of furthering Ushta in Aura Mazda's kingdom. Listen, accept input from parents, teachers, elders, community, writing, social media, etc. There's a lot to listen to. Reflect upon the options available to you, know yourself and listen to yourself. Critical thinking and self-reflection are key to learning. Decide. Articulate a choice that's right for you to grow as a Zoroastrian and live a Zoroastrian life. All three panelists today have spoken in varying degrees. How they not only took a decision, but they took action and made a change to overcome the limitations they found in their respective courses. This is if we can practice this, we can decisions to act for righteousness, good of all around us. Now, keeping all this in mind, let's begin the discussion with for clarifications with the name of the panelist you'd like to hear from. Use the chat box to type your questions or the reactions in Zoom to raise your hands. Let's begin the discussion. Who would like to go first?
Thank you, panelists. Thank you, Ayesha. And yes, Hoshida, go ahead.
Oh, yes, that was really brilliant. And that was a clap emoji. Yes, for all the panelists. So lovely. I would request anyone to ask the questions, please. Yes.
All right, so let's move from the question to the discussion session. So comments from the participants, what you're taking away from this, what you're thinking about it, how this talk has influenced your life or influenced what you're thinking about, what you will do in the future, etc., etc. So the mic is available for anybody who would like to share some thoughts. Zain, go ahead. Zain Pithawalla.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Zayan from India. So this was a lovely talk. First of all, like all three spoke really well. So like my takeaway from this seminar was like we should always implement what we learn and adapt to changes, because again the only universal constant is change. So that was true, and we should be open to new fields. We need to explore new paths and of course use the resources wisely, because even though we may have like thousands of resources and we don't know how to use those resources, it's waste. So we have to know how to use resources wisely, and we have to push ourselves out of the comfort zone and observe, reflect, decide, and then take action accordingly. So that's what I learned today.
Thank you, Zain. Who's next? That's a great example of value that you get from listening to these webinars.
Yes.
Noshir, would you like to comment? Seed the discussion?
Oh, I was just going to say that we've gotten lots of it's a wonderful opportunity to hear from the next generation of Zoroastrians, and it's very inspiring to see the kinds of lessons they've learned. I would just ask, we made a lot of comments about things like, listening and reflecting, listening not only to others, but also to yourself, I think was an important insight that we got from Vispi, for example. I would just be curious if anyone if any of the panelists can take some of these ideas that they have and provide a concrete example of how that played out in their lives. So this is an open question to any of the panelists to take your taglines and provide a concrete example of where that played out in your own experience.
Go ahead, Vispi. Great question.
In my case, I was interested in engineering, but I didn't know how I should approach it. So from the young age, I started approaching people. I listened to each and every one. But at the end, I was every time thinking what I want to do and what will make me happy. There is one thing that Professor Farrokh always says, that happy people are always successful, but successful people are not necessarily happy. So in this way, I was happy to create knowledge. And in this way, I thought that I can pursue my career. And my passion was engineering. So in this way, I listened to myself, and by listening to others, I got a career path. Like I got internships, I got idea of getting direct admission in PhD. So it worked for me in this way.
Thank you. Danesh, go ahead.
Yep. So in my case, when I was in my 12th grade, in the half of the year, I was really brainstorming about what to take next as my career, what will be my next step. Uh, so after brainstorming a lot and after going through a lot of research, I came to a conclusion that I wanted to do something really in the field of environment kind of a situation, and this is how I selected agriculture. And before selecting agriculture, also as I mentioned, we had some trips to various institutions, and from this, one of the trips was to KVK Baramati, which is a exhibition center in Baramati, and it's very close to my college, and that was the time when I thought to I started thinking about taking agriculture as a career in my as my journey. Yeah.
Kerin.
Yeah, so my tagline was related to identify opportunities to create value. So when I moved to Shirpur in Maharashtra, and I was in an outing, and I saw that there was an orphanage for children, and we even had an NGO. So I was always active in NGO, and I suggested that okay, we can go there and we can go on weekends and teach something to the children over there. So that's how we contacted the orphanage, and they were happy to have us students. So from that time, by before COVID, every Sunday for 4 to 5 hours, I went to that orphanage and I taught computer science, basics of computer science to the children. And I even taught them English so that they could improve their communication skills. So that's how I identified an opportunity for myself to teach someone something that I know, and I'm very happy to see that they all had learned new things and they got career guidance from a lot of people.
Thank you. Ayesha, your story is very fascinating. Go ahead.
My story, my story is very fascinating. Well, I grew up in Bombay, India. I worked, I lost my parents when I was very young. I was 13 years old. They passed away in a car crash. I was in the JJ School of Art for my undergrad. I'm very inclined towards artistic things. And then as I was working there, I found a part-time job in a child development center where I worked for 14 years. And then once I started working with children, I was hooked. So I found great joy with young children. I decided to pursue that. After 14 years, I decided I need to educate myself more about child development theory. I need to learn more about my practice. So my theory part came after my practice. It's a interesting story indeed. And then I applied to Teachers College, Columbia University, not thinking I would get in, but then I did. And my Zoroastrian community helped me so much with scholarships and fellowships, which is why I could go there for my master's in New York. I never imagined it possible doing a master's. And then when I went there, one of my professors, she said, you have so much experience with children, you should do a PhD. So I said, great, let's do a PhD. And she's very well known in her field, and she was very encouraging. So the value of a good mentor and a teacher really has played out in my life, throughout my life and in university. So yes, here I am now. I have my PhD. Last year I earned my PhD, and going on into academia to become a professor in California. So, long story short.
Thank you. Thank you for the question, Noshir, and thank you for the responses, panelists and Ayesha. Percy Master has a comment to make. Go ahead.
You're muted,
Can't hear you.
Percy.
Yeah, and I was very excited to learn, I mean, to see the talk from all the three participants. And it is, our community doesn't lack in any talent. Once given the opportunity, they will rise to the occasion. We may be small in numbers, but we always excel in what we do. And I think more and more opportunities should be given to the youngsters because our future lies in our youth. And if our community has to prosper, youth has to take the lead. And I think we all should encourage them. It's a very exhilarating experience to learn from all of you what you have done. Well done. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Other comments for that we could that could seed the discussion. Katayon, Natalie, Jandeep
Yeah,
Saroj, Khurshid, Edel, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe I can add something. Extremely well done. Kerin showed the importance of self-motivation to accomplish new initiatives. Danesh showed us the importance of innovation and adaptability. Vispi about being going outside the comfort zone and taking action. And if someone can take all these characteristics together, there's no way you're going to fail. You're going to be very, very successful. The one comment or question I have is, in general, in India, our education seems to be quite narrow and focused. So perhaps the participants could comment on the importance of an all-round education, a wider education, something more than just focusing on your specialty. What role does that play?
Great. Kerin, would you like to start, please?
Yes, so what I think and what I have practiced is that we need to have a specialization in one thing and also pursue other interests on our own. So we can always, as a student, we don't have much responsibilities, most of us. So we can take our spare time and work on our extracurricular activities or do something which we like. We don't have to be forced to do this. Okay, you do this or do that. You should actively by your own interest pursue your interest outside what specialization which you are opting for. And that's why I think that having interdisciplinary knowledge and skills is very important to survive in this world.
Great. Danesh.
Yes, so I think that there are also various opportunities in every field we go. So utilizing them and also sort of getting mentally prepared for the challenges that come the way is one of the way I feel. Yeah.
Thank you, Vispi.
First of all, I would like to give some comments on this. Education is a bit narrower in India, but there are many opportunities right now, like competitions, internships. You can talk with people. There are open source learning materials also, like Coursera, NPTEL. So from that, we can broaden our knowledge. On the other hand, I would like to say the changing system in India. So in my college, I've seen that more and more departments are connecting with each other. Engineering colleges communicating with humanities college to study psychology. And in India also in 2020, a government policy was made in which this problem has been solved. So I guess when that policy changes into a law, the changes will improve.
Great. Ayesha.
nothing much I want to add to that. I think it's important to think about what changes we can make also as individuals, and how to put them into action. Like all the panelists have already spoken, so I won't take too much time. But I see a couple of questions in the chat box. If you would like to speak them out, from Mayank Bhalirao, and then there's one from Karishma. So if Mayank would like to speak up and ask his question, or we can read it out.
Yes, sure, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity. And it was really great hearing all the panelists. So I had a question. I'm Mayank from India. I had a question to Mr. Danesh Aga. So he just told us a lot about agriculture and his views on that. So to be a bit specific, could you please share your views about the reconciliation of agriculture and technology in India, and maybe the drawbacks you might have witnessed in agricultural technology, which could be probably done in some innovation and can be seen as an opportunity? Yeah, thank
Hello,
you.
Mayank. So my view about agriculture and technology is that yes, in India there are still areas to improve on technology, but we cannot ignore the fact that many foreign companies are now bringing in the technology to India. And for instance, in where I study, they have integrated the Dutch as well as the Israel system of agriculture. So in our campus, there's the whole technology of Israel irrigation system, so that there's no need to manually go and water each and every crops, but there's a drip irrigation system which is monitored by the computer, and and there are lots of technology coming in India as well, and in many other parts of the country as well. For example, in Rajasthan or in Haryana. Yeah, and there are some drawbacks in this technology also. Like still there are outdated greenhouses that some, for example, in Pune, there are some outdated technologies, outdated greenhouse technologies, which is really causing the low grade material of crops, and that could be an issue, and seen as an opportunity also, as you mentioned. Yeah, I hope I clear your question. Is there anything else to add?
Thank you so much, Mr. Danesh. It was great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Karishma, your turn.
It was an observation combined with a question. It's very interesting that each of our panelists is acting in the now, taking a leaf out of their future book and implementing it. It would be wonderful to hear more about this, an example from each of them, and how they made it possible. Like Adel always says, be happy with what we have, and then make it better. Use the fire in the belly to make it even better. You seem to have done that. Could you elaborate? Vispi, maybe if you go first.
Yes, sure. So I was inspired to do research, as you all know, and but I had to take some additional steps, work outside my comfort zone. So for that, I used to stay till 8 or 9 p.m. in my college with whatever resources I had to do research. And in this way, I was able to get good research papers. Uh, I was afraid to get connected with people in other domains and with professors in other countries. But I overcame my fear and I connected with them. And I had to work extra. And sometimes I had to compromise with some events and all during my exams and during research. But to contribute something, like I've got too much from my community, support, guidance, and I believe that I should contribute also to the society. So for that, you need to work hard. And if you want to be a leader, you need to take the initiative and manage things. So this was the way I pursued it.
Thank you.
Danesh?
So in my case, we had a couple of sessions about CSR, and we were asked to make a case study about this. And when we were making this case study, my friend and me, we saw a great potential in this, and we started developing a business plan about related to this.
Good.
And and after a while, we came to a conclusion that in India, there are lots of farmers and social working people who are struggling as they are being exploited, or being given enough opportunities. So with our business plan that we are still working on, we prioritize our goal towards this social class of people, um, with the fair trade policies, and also by taking the framework of UN sustainable goals, which is gender equality and no poverty. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Kerin?
Yeah, so I had talked previously that my goal was to make career tech resources accessible for minorities in tech. So this, when I went to this orphanage, like from my early childhood, obviously I was involved in a lot of volunteering things. But when I went to my university and when I went to that orphanage, I came to know that there was still a lot of gap in the education which is accessible to people here. So I thought that maybe if I was there and my university people were there, usually we have classes from Monday to Saturday. On Sunday we are quite free. We get free time. So I had a lot of volunteers join me for this initiative, and I also got support from the faculty of my university to go over there and to teach those children. From teaching those children, there were obviously a lot of barriers because these children came from remote areas in India. We had a language barrier. We had a learning gap because they might be in a 8th or 9th standard, but they don't know how to even read properly like a 1st or 2nd standard kid. So eventually, slowly, we progressed, and I just thought that I should be able to take this on even a bigger scale. So I came across an opportunity by Microsoft, is that they have something called Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors. Like in this, you can connect to people around the world, and what they do is that they empower people to know more about tech. So I applied over there, I got selected, and I have met so many people who have first of all mentored me, and then I go on and mentor to others because they are providing some resources like some tech things which are like kind of paid, but if you are teaching those things to students, they will give you that for free to teach them. So I am very happy to get this opportunity to do so, and this thing even has helped me to get the international internship which I have. Like when I was always good at academics, I have always maintained that I was always in top 5 students of my class, and I even worked on research and all things along with this. So when I was applying for internship, when I gave interview with the professor, that professor was very impressed that okay, I know I have a lot of students who have applied over here. I interviewed 10 to 15 students who have technical knowledge. I'm very sure you guys have technical knowledge, but what I'm impressed is that you are able to connect with other people. So if you do this, I think that you can become better at that as well. So that did play a good role in my profile for that.
Excellent. A subsequent question, how did you make time to do your entrepreneurial work with this?
Yeah, so for entrepreneur work, I would like to go back to what Vispi had said earlier, that most of, there is a trend in, at least in engineering colleges, is that students are focused more on getting jobs. So we have a different whole department called placement department, which does so. And what I observed here is that I saw, since I was already involved in the communities, NGOs in my college, I saw that a lot of students were building their own products. They were doing small scale entrepreneurship and business to support themselves. So I thought that why not bring a platform for them to encourage them more. And that's how I got the idea that we can host an entrepreneurship summit, an event in this university. And my idea, fortunately, again, my university approved that, and we were able to create a small scale event. Thank you.
We have a few more minutes. Katayun, would you like to share your thoughts? Natalie, Jangir Sarosh, Beram Pastakia, Khurshid, go ahead. Katayun, then Khurshid.
Okay. This is Ketayun, and I'm very thrilled to see all of you and listen to all the things you have been talking about. It is just awesome. You have so much curiosity. You are so resourceful, creativity, and I wish all of you all the best. You have this platform to speak about, and thank you, Ayesha, too, for synthesizing all of this. What a wonderful day to get to know all of you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Khurshid.
So it's more of a observation or comments. I noticed one of the common themes was that everybody talked about research and internships, and I think that's very vital. The earlier you get that experience, the better, but it's also hard to get in India, as I think some of you mentioned. But I think it's hard to get here as well in the US. It's hard everywhere. Which brings me to my second point, be confident, not diffident. And I think Vispi alluded to that when he said, I asked, just ask. The worst that can happen is somebody will say no. I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask, but if you don't ask, you don't know if you'll get a yes or a no. So you gotta ask. And then the third thing is, I noticed amongst all of you and in general in the field of education, etc., that intersectionalities are emerging. So I think Irildawa talked about, education being relatively narrower, like you go into arts, commerce, science, you're a doctor, you're an engineer, that's pretty fixed in India. But I think there are a lot of intersectionalities emerging, and fields are emerging literally as we speak. There are things, I mean, if you told somebody 50 years ago, my son is majoring in machine learning, they would be like, what is machine learning? What is artificial intelligence? These are words that never existed, right? So I think the future especially for these students and beyond is going to be in intersectionalities and how you discover them and how you make them. Which brings me to my last point, that I feel like these are great webinars and we hear so much from the youth, which is wonderful. But maybe, I don't know if it already exists, Dr. Mistree, but maybe the youth connect with each other to form some intersectionalities or form some fields that connect, So for example, agriculture and engineering, there's a lot of overlap. You just don't think of it that way, right? I think that's where the future will be. It's no more going to be this and this and this siloed. It's going to be all kinds of Venn diagrams. But it was wonderful to hear from you. And if you can think of any intersectionalities between the three of you, I would love to hear, just off the top of your head, just the spark of your imagination, what you could think of. Let's say Kerin with Danesh and Vispi, or what could you think would overlap in your fields? Thank you.
Can I comment on this?
Yes, please. And then after the three of you have talked, we'll go to Natalie.
Sure. This is a very important point. And right now, working in intersections is more fruitful, I would say. Now, there is field systems engineering, which is dedicated to connect different disciplines together. And I have actually published a paper with Professor Farrokh on it, in which we are applying engineering knowledge with agriculture. So that's happening. And this is more and more important. And I guess research is also moving in that field of interdisciplinary things. So this was my comment.
Thank you. Danesh.
Yeah, there's a great opportunity for this to happen, as maybe in future a harvester with some AI technology will come into it, maybe something like that.
Kerin.
Yes, from the intersection are three fields, we can really find a good intersection. Like we need a lot of innovation in agriculture, I think nowadays, since the population is increasing and we have only limited land resource and the climate change. So what we can work on is that we can use the applications of mechanical engineering, computer engineering, and agriculture to develop new technologies for that.
Thank you. Natalie.
Hello, thank you. You know, you were all very, very inspiring. And one of the things I wanted to reflect on is, you know, the tagline for WZCC is industry and integrity. And I just wanted to say that looking ahead and into the future, when there are challenges or new insights that you have to bring to using your integrity, your obvious, shining, wonderful, gleaming integrity, I just wanted to tell you that you should always think of being a Zoroastrian and being part of WZCC as a resource for helping you in maintaining and promoting your integrity. And seeing this in you is very inspiring to all of us. So I wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Beram Pastakir, would you like to share the 2 words you have for the ZFN, or you think about the ZFN?
Oh yeah, thanks for asking me. So yes, the 2 words that Natalie mentioned of integrity and industry for the WZCC, these 2 words capture the essence of what WZCC stands for. And I would like to suggest or propose that we synthesize what the ZFN is doing and how it is capturing our imaginations with just 2 words. The first is educate, and the second is inspire. I put that out for our group to think about, that if we could just focus on just 2 words, just like Natalie focused on 2 words for WZCC, which captures the mission of WZCC. That is something that the ZFN might consider going forward. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Great. I would now like, since we are almost at the end of our allotted hour, I'd like to get to the closing remarks. And the first one is Kerin. Closing remarks as a consequence of your participation in this webinar, preparation and participation in this webinar. Go ahead.
Yes, I enjoyed the entire preparation of this webinar. I got to learn a lot of things. I got valuable feedback to improve my presentation skills as well. And so it was a great, and I think that it was a good opportunity for me, which ZFN gave me to come over here and to talk to us.
Danesh.
Yeah, firstly, it was a very inspiring experience for me because I got to know how negative things can be seen as a very positive in a positive way, and I also got to work on how problems in India could be tackled by simple brainstorming ideas, and overall it was a fun and creative environment for me. Yeah. Thank you.
Vispi.
Now it has been 1 year from which I have been participating in ZFN webinars and all. From 1 year, I'm learning good lessons for my life. And now I've presented myself and inspired others to do research and also to pursue their careers. So I'm happy and I've learned many things and I look forward to continue this.
Thank you. Yes, Steve.
Another wonderful webinar as we go along. For the first time, I see somebody who is intensely looking at agriculture and technology in agriculture, which is something very new for ZFN. I think I'm hearing it for the first time here. Our resources are all available at zoroastrianfacultynetwork.org, where you will get, apart from the webinar information, the recordings, the other stuff like scholarships available, the internships available in various parts of the world. We also have a Facebook page. If you are enjoying this, please share this with your friends and family so that we spread the word and get maximum number of people to take advantage of this. Thank you.
It is my honor and privilege to share a few words with you. I'm absolutely thrilled with what took place today. And there was a very interesting question that was brought up by Khurshid and that was amplified by Natalie at the end. Khurshid talked about intersectionality between disciplines. New knowledge is created at the intersection of disciplines. Mechatronics, for example, with mechanical and electrical, biomedical engineering, between biology, medicine, and engineering. So new knowledge and new fields come about at the intersection of fields. And now I want to share with you a Farroukhism. A Farroukhism is a strongly held belief that others disagree with. And the beauty of that is that there are many opinions that come to the fore. And then you as an individual, knowing yourself, can choose that which is right for you. So here is a Farroukhism. People have talked about grand challenges. NSF, National Science Foundation, the Academy of Engineering, all over the world, the United Nations, they all talk about grand challenges. And this is where the Farroukhism comes in. I believe that all grand challenges can be modeled as cyber-physical social systems. And their solutions are anchored in bringing about harmony between cyber, physical, and social systems. Danesh gave an example of smart agriculture. Smart agriculture is the intersection between cyber and physical together with the environment. For what purpose? For human beings. That's where the social dimension comes in. And I think the future in terms of research, the future in terms of the creation of knowledge is anchored in people working in the domain of evolving cyber-physical social systems. So if we think in terms of agriculture, right now the in thing is precision agriculture, etc., smart machines, smart detection, and things along those lines. But this system has to evolve. And as was rightly pointed out by Kerin, that we're going to have, things have to evolve, change, we cannot get away from change. So the frontier, Khurshid and Natalie, in my opinion, is people putting their thoughts together on addressing the issue of evolving cyber-physical social systems. That ties to government. Government is getting more and more computerized and using technology and stuff like that. So if we looked at the world from the perspective of evolving cyber-physical social systems and thought about opportunities and careers in this area, I think we'll be that much better off. So having, now I'll get off my soapbox and Yazdi, if you could stop recording. We typically stay online for those of you who'd like to continue the conversation and chat. So I will stop sharing and Yazdi, please stop recording. And thank you all very